And you could say maybe this is the era for India and over the next 20, 25 years. But if you use that as a foundational paradigm that we all want to think about, the era of India, when you think about how the Modi administration digitized the rupee and how it transformed commerce in India across the board, I am very worried about other countries, even the United States is falling behind. You know, we talk about a new era to give people a foundational understanding where we are. But as an investor, I don't look at any era. I mean, our job is to be having people focus on the real opportunities to invest over a lifetime. There's so much information that confuses people. Media talks about the moment, the velocity of money. And the reality is, for most people, they need to be in a position to grow with each and everyone's country. So when you think about the growth of India, it's not a quarter, it's not a day or a week, it's not a year, it's over a long horizon. And you could say maybe this is the era for India and over the next 20, 25 years. But if you use that as a foundational paradigm that we all want to think about, the era of India, forget about the era of investing for a second, but the era of India, the key for us, the key for JioBlackRock is to compel more people to understand what does that mean, the era of India, and how do you participate in it? What we've learned in the United States, for that segment of the population that had invested with the growth of America, they're far better off than those who just kept all their money in a bank account. Mm-hmm. And so the key is, if you believe in the era of India, forget about the era of India, investment, the era of India, which I believe in, we need to get more people investing alongside the growth of the country. And that's the role of the capital markets, that's the role of what we can be doing together. And to me, whether it's, you want to focus on AI, you want to focus on how we live, how we grow, how we educate ourselves, to me those are subsets of the era of India and the opportunity to be an investor alongside the growth of India. And to me, that's a compelling story. It's not about, about tariffs or President Trump or anything else that's top of mind. We need to be compelling people to think about the horizon of investing over a long period of time, to grow with the great companies of India, to be a part of that and to participate in that. And I'm absolutely convinced, if you believe in that, in the era of India, we need to compel hundreds of millions of Indians to invest alongside the growth of India. And that will actually transform India in so many ways, because as more and more families invest alongside the growth of India, India has less needs for the importation of capital. And I do believe the combination of importation of capital from foreign investors who believe in the era of India, but the fundamental foundation of any country is having the domestic economy being built on the back of retirement savings, on the back of excess savings, to invest alongside of that.
You referenced the tariffs, and we've had a deal with the U.S. overnight. President Trump and Prime Minister Modi have signed off on that reciprocal tariff agreement. So the overhang has lifted at least on one aspect of that relationship. How crucial a development is that, and what excites you the most about India today?
Well, let's be clear. Over 20 years, it had no bearing. Maybe over the next 6 months or a year, it had some significant bearing. But over time, the foundational issues of India, how it's able to leapfrog. I mean, you watch what has, over the last, I would say, since the era of the smartphone. And I think that's a pivotal point. 2012 was, think about your life before the smartphone here in India. But the beginning of the smartphone, the rollout of 5G, and how that transformed India in so many ways. When you think about how the Modi administration digitized the rupee and how it transformed commerce in India across the board, I am very worried about other countries, even the United States is falling behind. We need to be digitizing. We need to be thinking about how this all plays out. I think this is part of the democratization of India. And so now India is a leader in this. And so I could cite many things that give me optimism, but the fundamental opportunity is the huge intellectualism of India, the transform what technology, whether the technology was created in the US or somewhere else in the world, the dispersion of that technology in India is really what is so inspiring, and the utilization of the new technology for more and more people, and how that transforms commerce, consumption, information, education, all of that is ripe for real solid growth. And I agree that India has, over the next 10 plus years, it's going to grow anywhere from 8 to 12%, probably hovering around 8 to 10. And that's a place where I want to personally invest in, and what we need to do is compelling more Indians to invest alongside that growth. I believe the greatest risk we have is if we don't invest and continue to invest, China will win. And I believe the need to rapidly expand the AI opportunities is necessary. That doesn't mean we're not going to have some bankruptcies. But there's some failures. That's capitalism. You're going to have some big successes and big failures. But the opportunity that companies have in utilizing AI is going to be present in everything we do. I mean, even yesterday you had Anthropic announce a new model, which is going to be threatening for some businesses, but it's going to be an opportunity for other businesses. You mentioned Davos, and you mentioned the word cloud. There is no question AI is among the most topical conversations we're having now, because it is disruptive. It's going to be disruptive for some industries, but it's going to also be very advancing. I mean, the future of AI in terms of drug discovery, in terms of humanity, is real. The use of AI for the development of new sources of power or cheaper sources of power, what can that mean in the long run for the global South? Could we have abundance in energy one day? Now that's still pretty far-fetched at this moment, but the opportunities of the acceleration of science is there. Rob Goldstein talked about having the ability to use AI to learn everything about one subject in minutes now. And so AI is going to allow more discovery, more opportunities, and with that technology, like so many other technologies, it's going to be disruptive for some businesses and some economies. And the key for AI to be really successful in every society, we need to make sure that AI broadens economic success and it doesn't narrow economic success. We talked about that a lot in Davos the last 2 weeks, and that's going to be the real issue. Can AI be not only disruptive, but can it be expanding and broadening economic success?